Chapter 3, The Zoomie Invasion PT1. The sound grew louder, like a high-pitched hum mixed with the scurrying of paws that never seemed to slow down. It was erratic, unsettling, like a frenzied buzz of energy on the verge of exploding. And then it happened. The door, which had been securely locked just moments ago, rattled violently before bursting open. A blur of fur and chaos shot through the entrance, moving so fast that it was impossible to, bouncing off walls, knocking over furniture, and creating an instant whirlwind of disorder. Holy shit, Chip muttered, eyes wide as the Zoomies zipped past him like a tornado of fur. This is worse than he thought, Dexter squeaked from his fort, clutching his blanket like a shield. Midnight, however, remained cool as ever. They stood on the couch, lighting a cigarette, eyes following the Zoomies' every move. Let them tire themselves out. They'll burn through their energy soon enough. The Zoomies were every here at one, seeping over the fumiture, ricocheting off walls, even sprinting up the walls like they were defying gravity. Their house filled the room, a cacophony of chaos that made it impossible to think. Lola ducked as one Zoomie zoomed right over her head, barely missing her by inches. I swear. Phone of them fucks up my fur, TM losing it. Bella, surprisingly calm in the midst of the chaos, raised an eyebrow. You're already losing it, babe. As the Zoomies continued their frantic circuit around the apartment, Midnight slowly lowered themselves off couch and began the next phase of their plan. All right, Chip. Now. Chip nodded, though his paws were shaking slightly as he moved toward the first part of the trick, the food bowls. He lined them up in a neat row, just as Midnight had instructed, and stepped back. As if on cue, the Zoomies began to notice the boas. Their chaotic, darting motions paused briefly as they sniffed the air, drawn by the scent of food. For a moment, their wild energy seemed to falter, curiosity replacing frenzy. It's working. Chip whispered, his eyes wide. Midnight grinned. Now for phase 2. Bella, clearly unimpressed, rolled her eyes. We're really banking on the fact that these things are dumb enough to fall for a routine. Trust me, Midnight replied, watching the Zoomies closely. They won't be able to resist. The Zoomies, now more interested in the food bowls than wreaking havoc, slowly approached end-up bowls. One by one, they dipped their snouts into the food, greedily gobbling it down. Now, Dexter, Midnight called out. Dexter, who had been hiding behind his fort, scrambled to his feet and began banging on a pot with a spoon. Feeding time is over. It's nap time. The Zoomies, still chewing on bits of food, looked up in confusion. Nap time? In the middle of chaos? It didn't compute. Keep it up. Midnight urged. They're confused. That's good. Dexter, now getting into it, continued banging the pot. Nap time. Nap time. Nap time. The Zoomies, who were clearly not used to any sort of routine, seemed to falter. Their wild energy fizzled slightly as they tried to make sense of the situation. Was it really nap time? What even was a nap? They looked at each other, baffled, and then at the food boas. Lola, seeing her chance, stood up and barked authoritatively. That's right. You heard him. It's nap time, now lay down. For a glorious moment, the Zoomies hesitated. Some of them even looked like they might actually lay down. The plan was working, and then, just as quickly as they had calmed down, the Zoomies snapped out of it. As if realizing they'd been duped, they let out a collective howie of rage and bolted in every dire tie-in at once, sending the carefully arranged food boas flying and overturning the furniture. Well, shit, Lola muttered as she dodged another Zoomie that nearly crashed into her. Midnight sighed, clearly disappointed. All right, new plan. We're gonna have to wear them down the old-fashioned way. Dexter peeked out from behind his fort, eyes wide. What's the old-fashioned way? Midnight grinned, their eyes gleaming. We run.